Narrative. Episode 6, Revising Your Story. A personal narrative is a true story about your life. You can write about something that has happened to you. When we revise, we make sure our writing makes sense. We also make changes to make our writing sound even better before we publish it. There are several different ways you can revise your writing. You can add words and sentences to add detail. You can remove words that are unnecessary or that don't make sense. And you can change words to make your story more interesting. When you add words, you can add adjectives, which describe the people, places, and things in your story. You can add adverbs, which describe the actions or verbs in your story. Or you can add more details about things that happened. Here's part of my personal narrative I wrote about getting a dog. It says, first, my mom came to my room to talk to me. She told me since I had gotten good grades at school, I could get a dog. I was so excited, I jumped up in the air. First, I'm going to add an adjective. I'm going to write the word sweet to describe my mom. Next, I'm going to add an adverb. I'm going to write super high to describe how I jumped. Last, I'm going to add some more details. I'm going to write, "You're the best," I screamed. Now the reader can imagine what happened in my story even better. Next, I'm going to remove some words. I can think, what doesn't make sense? And what isn't important to my story to help me decide what to take out? My next page says, then we got in the car to drive to the store in the car. I couldn't wait. When we pulled up, I saw that the store had a lot of dogs that needed to be adopted. The store was green. Did you hear anything that didn't make sense? Oh, yeah, I can take out in the car because I already said that once. Did you hear anything that wasn't important? I guess the store was green isn't really important. It doesn't have anything to do with me getting a dog. Last, I'm going to see if there are any words I can change. I can ask myself, what doesn't make sense? If I used a word that doesn't make sense, I can change it. I can also change any boring words I use to more interesting words. Here's my next page. It says, when we got to the store, I looked at all of the dogs. They were all so cute. All of a sudden, one come up and licked my foot. He was white and fluffy and so adorable. I decided he was the dog for me. Did you hear a word that didn't make sense? Oh, when I said one come up, I should have said one came up since it happened in the past. That sounds much better. How about a boring word that I could change? I think I'm going to change looked into gazed. Those words sort of mean the same thing, but gazed sounds way more interesting. That's it. Thanks for helping me revise my writing. Now my story sounds so much better after I added, removed, and changed some of the words. Check out episode 7 to see how I edit my story. Writing a personal narrative. Episode 7, Editing. A personal narrative is a true story about your life. You write about something that has happened to you. Editing is making our writing look better. We fix all of the mistakes we may have made in our first drafts. We do this to make sure other people can read and understand our stories. That way, we can publish and share our hard work with others. When we edit, we check our spelling, our punctuation, and our capitalization. To edit our spelling, we make sure we spelled sight words correctly, that we used all of the word parts we know, and that we stretched out all of the sounds and words as best as we could. Your spelling doesn't have to be perfect. You just need to use what you already know, fix any silly mistakes you made, and try your best. Here is a sentence from my story about when I got a new dog. It says, "First, my sweet mom came to my room to talk to me." Do you see a sight word that I spelled incorrectly? My is a sight word. It's spelled right. To is a sight word. It's correct. How about the word me? Is it spelled right? Oh yeah, me is just M-E. Much better. Here's my next sentence. She told me since I had gotten good grades at school, I could get a dog. Do you see any places where I didn't use word parts correctly? Oh, now I remember learning that O-O says or oo. So good is probably spelled G-O-O-D. And school is probably spelled with an O-O too. That looks right. Here's my next sentence. It says, "I was so excited I jumped super high up in the air." Do you see a word that I could stretch out even more? How about excited? I wrote some of the sounds I heard, but I think I could stretch it out more. Did. That's a better guess. Maybe I can look in a dictionary later if I want to see if I'm right. Next, we are going to edit punctuation. Punctuation marks are symbols that go at the ends of sentences, like periods, question marks, and exclamation points. When I edit my punctuation, I have to make sure that I have punctuation marks in all of the right places. I also need to make sure that I use the correct kind of punctuation. Here is my next sentence. It says, "Then we got in the car to drive to the store. I couldn't wait." Do you see anywhere I put a punctuation mark in the wrong place? I put one at the end of the first line, but I guess I don't need one there. That sentence isn't over yet. It continues on to the next line. Do you see a place where I forgot to put a punctuation mark? Oh, yeah, my last sentence needs one. I'm going to put an exclamation point since I was really, really excited. My next page says, "When we pulled up, I saw that the store had a lot of dogs that needed to be adopted." Do you think this sentence needs a question mark? No, that's not a question. It's a statement. So I'll change it to a period. Much better. Last, we are going to edit our capitalization. We will check to make sure we always capitalize the word I and the first letter of the first word of every sentence, and specific names of people, places, or things. All of the other letters will almost always be lowercase. This page says, "When we got to the store, I looked at all of the dogs. They were all so cute." Do you see a place where I made a mistake? Oh yeah, the word I should always be capitalized. My next sentence says, "All of a sudden, one came up and licked my foot. He was white and fluffy and so adorable." What mistake did I make this time? Oh, right, I need to use a capital letter for the first word of every sentence. But all of my other letters will stay lowercase. My last sentence says, I decided he was the dog for me. Do you see a mistake I made? I probably shouldn't have capitalized the word dog. Dog isn't his name. I would only use an uppercase letter if I wrote his real name, like I decided Fluffy was the dog for me. That's it. Thanks for helping me edit my personal narrative. Check out the final episode in this series to see how I publish my story to get ready to share it.
Okay, so you're going to use what you learned in these 2 videos to revise and edit your personal narrative writing where you chose from your list of 10 best things.